How you doing, YouTube family? It is Monday, June 24th, 2024. This is your man, Big D, and I'm back with another one. Before I go in, I want to thank all of the subscribers that have subscribed to my son's channel, Illuminated D. I want to thank you all for taking the time to go over there and subscribe for the ones that did, or even the ones that have taken the time out to just go over there and just consume the content over there. I can assure you that if you take time out and you go over to his channel, I'm positive that there's something for everybody over there. Doesn't matter your gender, doesn't matter your race. Because I would like to believe in my years of living, I have amassed some knowledge and information that somebody could benefit from. So again, I want to thank you all for taking the time out your busy lives to go over there and watch my son's content. And to those that subscribe, I really appreciate that. This one is for the ladies. Ladies, I have to ask you a question. What criteria are you using to determine what kind of man that you choose to procreate with? What type of criteria are you using to choose what man to produce offspring with? It has always been an epidemic, in particular in the African American community, where women they just have babies. And the sad thing about it is that I've seen generations of women who were raised feeding off the government, basically waiting on the government to provide them with food stamps, WIC, whatever type of assistance that they have to offer. And listen, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying all women, but it's a high percentage of women that does this. So I'm not talking all, because I know some phenomenal women that have careers and they not looking for, no handouts from nobody, in particular the government. But even with those high quality women that have those, that have those careers, they oftentimes fall prey to the same dilemma, because I've seen them use poor criteria to determine what type of man that they're going to lay down and create a child with. But that's another story for another day. I want to direct this conversation to those women that are choosing to procreate with Pookies, Ray Rays, Nook Nooks, and all alike, because they come in all different forms. It ain't just in the black community. They got Pookies and Ray Rays in the Hispanic community. They got Pookies and Ray Rays in the Asian community. So it ain't. I don't think these Pookies and Ray Rays are just specifically should be specifically categorized in just the black community, because they exist in across all races. But this is for my community, the African American community. Women, why are you choosing to procreate with men that they barely got a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of? They relying on you for resources to keep a roof over their head, because half of them living with you. What makes you, and a lot of these men already have children. So what makes you think that your baby is going to be any different? Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with having children. There's nothing wrong with that. But I also believe that if you're going to have a child, the child needs to be brought into an environment where it can thrive. Not just survive, but thrive. I believe that as parents or as potential parents, we have to make sure that we have put ourselves, myself, the woman has to make sure that she's in the best position possible when she start talking about laying down and procreating with a man. She needs to also make sure that this man is in the best position possible so that her child could have the best start at life. And let me tell you something. It ain't nothing wrong with having a head start in life. You know, you look at the children like Jay-Z children. You know, you look at, you know, I don't know, the Denzel Washington children, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie children. Listen, if you can have wealthy parents where when you're born and you come into this world, you already got money, well, that's great. But here's the thing. Those are few and far between. Not as many as you think. So, women, you have to understand that when you choose to go half on a baby with a man, you got to make sure that you putting your child in the best position possible because, man, it is hard out here in this world. People are starving out here. I'll give you a prime example. I had this ex-lady friend that was a friend of mine, and she's an ex because she was just a negative person. Man, when I say negative, under the guise of being feminine, and I tell you what I mean by that. When things were going her way, she was very feminine and submissive. But when things were not going her way, she was very masculine. And, you know, we all know that you're either feminine or you're not. This conditional femininity, that's not real femininity. So there's a reason why this person is the way that she is. But it's not about her. That's a video for another day. So this person had a friend that was dating this guy that didn't have a career. He pretty much, you know, he was a dog breeder. And literally breeding dogs, sold puppies. I mean, he was a high-end dog breeder. You know, puppies cost, you know, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. So I get it. And to supplement that, he sold a little bit of you know, a little bit of weed on the side. So, you know, this person, my ex-friend's friend would always tell her, man, I want to have a baby in the next couple of years. I want to get pregnant. And I'm sitting there thinking like, man, why would you want to have a kid from this guy who can barely take care of himself? In fact, this guy already got, you know, kids. And my question is, you're not even in a good position. You're not even in a good position in life where you can provide for yourself. And you're going to bring a poor child into that kind of equation? Women, let me tell you something. There used to be a time, and it's still that time, where women are hypergamous. You know, it's mind-boggling because when you look at the very science of it, women normally choose the most elite of the species. But what's confusing about that is this. You have these low-budget women or these low-vibrational women, all they don't want no good dude. They want a Pookie and a Ray Ray. They do. That's just what it is. And I'm also seeing the phenomenon where you have professional women that have careers are getting pregnant by Pookies and Ray Rays. Ladies, let me ask you a question. Do you think it's fair that you lay down knowing that your life is in shambles and you choose to procreate with a man who already has kids, he doesn't have a career, his life is in shambles? Why do you think it's fair to bring a child into that type of situation? See, in life, as parents, you always want to strive to give your child those things that you never had or your parents couldn't give you. So you always want to strive to give your child more than what you had. You, as a parent or as a potential parent, you should always seek to put your child in a position where he got a head start on life. And if you're not in a position where you know that when this child is birthed into this world, takes his first breath, that you're in a position where financially you can go ahead and set up a college fund for this child. Off real, because I'm telling you right now, when you set up college funds, these are prepaid college funds, you know, the monthly payment, it will be cheaper when the child is the youngest. So if you're going, let's just hypothetically say you want to get a college prepaid fund, and you want to pay so much money into it over so many years, so that at the point where, you know, you start paying, but by the time the child needs to use his money, which is probably going to be, who knows, depending on when you started. So let's say you start when the child is 2 or 3 years old, I don't know, 4 years old. Well, at that point, the child got 14 years where they would need to use the money from this college prepaid fund. So it stands to reason that it's going to be a lot of money in that fund, because the way it's set up, you know, it accrues interest and not interest, but it accrues dividends where, you know, you pay this amount, but you gain interest. And, you know, by the time the money is needed, you know, there's a significant amount of money in that fund. So if you're not in a position where you could do that, and if you're not in a position where you know that healthcare is not going to be a problem, because it's very expensive having children, and God forbid if you have a child and the child has some type of health condition, medical condition, maybe even a mental health condition. The child could be autistic. The child could have Down syndrome. You know, there's just a litany of things that, you know, that you're faced with as a parent. So ladies, I ask you again, why would you procreate with a man that you know that is barely able to take care of himself? He can't even provide for you. Why would you procreate with that kind of person? Why would you do that to yourself? Now, I'm not saying that, you know, but depending on what you believe, as far as religion is concerned, you know, if you don't bring a child into this world in a marriage, in a marriage union, you know, the child is labeled as a bastard. Now, hey, listen, a lot of us were born, especially us, you know, us 60 babies and 70 babies. A lot of us was born in unions like that where, you know, mama wasn't married. So, you know, hey, listen, I'm a bastard. I'm a bastard child by definition. But here's the thing, though. Just because you're born in that type of situation don't mean you got to retain that mindset. But this has been going on for a long time, in particular in the black community. Because if you go back to the 50s and the 40s and the 60s, man, you know, black women were, you know, they get with a guy, they think the guy's a decent dude, when you know damn well he ain't. Because look how he moving. He ain't even got no job. He out here trying to sell dope. And you have a baby with this guy thinking, well, you know, he you know, it'll all work out in the end. And this guy turned out to be a bust. Then you go to the next one and the next one, and the next one. And this is why we're in this situation where you have a lot of women, especially from that generation of women that were, you know, that were born in the 30s or 40s or 50s. That's why you see more babies that were born out of wedlock than that were born inside of a marriage union. I don't know why that is, but I do know this. We need to do better, because in today's times, there's no reason why a woman should get pregnant unless she wants to. Okay, women, if you don't want to let this man, if you don't want to make this man require this man to wear a condom, that's fine. You don't want to wear a contraceptive, that's fine. But okay, you don't even want to take birth control pills. Okay, that's fine. But they had a morning after pill. It's all types of form of contraceptives nowadays where there's really no excuse for it. And I just don't think it's fair to some poor child that is eventually going to be born in a situation where the mama just barely getting by, the daddy barely getting by, and then now the daddy got other kids, and now you got siblings, so everybody just broke and dusty, and that's okay. Ladies, we have got to do better. And I'm not excusing the men, because here's the thing, gentlemen. I know this was primarily for the ladies, but I gotta speak to this. Men, let me tell you something. If you know that you're not in a good place, even if you're a Pookie and a Ray Ray, if you know that you're not in a good place financially, man, do the right thing. Hey, listen, I get it. Everybody want to go meet the meat. Nobody don't want to wear no barriers. I get it. Ain't nothing like going meet the meat. I get it. I understand. I get it. Believe me, Big D understand. But the fact of the matter is that, man, it's so bad nowadays, man. Society is not the same. The world is not the same. And times are very, very, very hard. People are barely able to pay their light bill, able to pay their mortgages and rent. So, man, brothers, let me tell you something. If you know that your SHIT ain't together, listen. You gotta do something. You gotta listen. You gotta put that condom on, bro. You gotta put it on, because think about it. That's how your ass here. That's how your ass got here, because your mama didn't require your daddy to wear a condom. She didn't want to get on the pill. She didn't want to get on the shot. She didn't want to use a diaphragm, or she didn't want to take the morning after pill, or whatever. The multitude of contraceptives that they have nowadays. She didn't want to do it. So that's how you got here. And how was life for you, brother? I know it was tough for me. And the sad part about it is that young men, y'all got to do better, man, because when they say that they don't make them like they used to, yeah, I was born into a bad situation. But I tell you what, I rose above my circumstances. And not all men gonna be able to do that. Not all men are willing to make the sacrifices to do that. So, men, we gotta do better too. Because, if a woman like you and whatnot, she know the situation fucked up, but she still gonna wanna have a baby. She's still gonna want to have a baby. If she likes you, she cares for you, she's still gonna want to have a baby. Hey, you got some women who just want to have another baby because it's another mouth in the house, and that's more assistance from the government. So we all gotta take time out, and we gotta look at our circumstances. And I understand. It's a normal thing to want to procreate. I get it. But it's also got to be a normal thing to want to take care of your child adequately. Men, if you know that you're not in a position to raise a child or your money ain't straight, don't do it. Ladies, you definitely shouldn't do it, because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one in the end. If this guy decides to jump ship and you got to put him on child support, you're going to be the one doing it all by yourself. You're going to be the one struggling. And as they always said, mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and log it off and stop it right there, because I think I've said enough, and I hope that I've not offended anybody, and everything I said was my honest opinion. And at the bare minimum, just think about what I said. And always remember, you should always strive to be the best you can be. Always strive to be better tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.